Good morning everyone. So today we'll discuss about control of substances hazardous to health. Control of substances hazardous to health, which is depends upon like whatever the work which is going on in your company, which is related to the chemical handling, uh, related to the iron industry, related to pharmaceutical industries, and also related to some other works. So control of substances which is hazardous to health. So it is introduced in UK regulations in 1988 under the Health and Safety Act, which is Work Act, you can say, in 1974, which is established and introduced and which is implemented in 1988. Okay, so the control of substances hazardous to health cost means the basic principles of the regulations. It is safeguard the health of all the persons who have to work with a substance that can be hazardous to health. And a substance may be different substance like liquid, solid, gas or vapor as well, and including microorganisms. So yes, these regulations apply in all the work areas where the workers are working in a different zones, maybe manufacturing industries, maybe chemical industries, or maybe other production plants. Okay, all the workers they are working, they have to work with the cost regulations, which is very important. Okay, so the substance that can be hazardous to health, like chemicals. If you are working in a chemical zone, again you have to prevent yourself with the help of hazardous operations. In chemical industry, you have to go with the proper PPE, like the proper helmet, gloves, goggles, safety boots, with proper gloves. Like if you are handling the chemical, you have to go with the rubber gloves. Okay, double layer rubber gloves. Okay, and it will be the long sleeve which is totally covered your hand. In chemical industry, it is very important, you have to always go with the proper PPE, with the special chemical suits while handling with the chemical material. Okay, so as per the cost control of substances hazardous to health, you have to read the MSDS as well, material safety data sheet, which is related to the same chemical. Okay, while working, fumes, dust, vapors, mist, and gases. If you are working in like the companies which they are producing different types of gases, like CO2 industries, carbon dioxide industries, there you need to work with the proper protectionary measures. You have to attach the hoses in the cylinders while refilling the CO2 cylinders with the help of compressors, or with the help of other CO2 tanks and all. You are covering that CO2 and refilling in the different cylinders, or selling in different areas. Okay, so you will feel like different what you can say, the hazardous material. Okay, so you will feel also asphyxiating effect if you are working in that kind of zone. Okay, biological agents, germs that can cause disease on your body, and it will create a massive impact. Okay, and smoke as well. So these are the things which is very important. Cause the main elements which can cover the main requirements of the regulations for you to monitor the exposure of the workers, and where appropriate carry out forms of surveillance of their health. And it is also very important, inform, instruct and train employees. Yes, it is very important to inform the workers, train your workers. Okay, it is the responsibility of the employer. It is the responsibility of the employer to train the employees. ओके, एम्प्लॉयर का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज है कि जो आपको एम्प्लॉयर काम दे रहा है, अपने वर्कर्स को, अपनी एम्प्लॉयज को ट्रेन करना है. सो इट इज द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द एम्प्लॉयर टू ट्रेन द वर्कर्स. दैट कॉल्स ऑन जॉब ट्रेनिंग. If you are working in that zone, so it is very important, you have to first go with on job training. He will give you the proper induction training related to the same work. Okay, about the risk and precautions to be taken. Cost assessment, how you need to assess, how you have to assess. So cost assessment must be completed by a competent person. Okay, which is he must know about the exposure of the same substances while working. okay, and how you have to avoid that hazards. An alternative work method can reduce the exposure of a less hazardous substance, can be used instead, like the controls, like what are the control measures which you need to put in place. Then any substance with the hazards warning level, there are the warning levels in every like the chemical containers. If you are handling with the different containers or mixing the two chemicals together, so always you have to read the label, what are the warning sign, how to use it, read MSDS in a proper way, and then you need to handle different chemicals in chemical zone areas. Okay, so you must know about the risk must be assessed. There is the HIRA, hazard identification risk assessment process, also involved in this. Okay, so you need to do the HIRA or maybe JSA, job safety analysis related to the same work. Then how can you prevent to reduce worker exposure to the hazardous substances? So yes, it is very important how you have to reduce the exposure. Reduce the exposure of the workers while the workers are working in the same zone. Okay, finding out the health hazards. You have to find out what are the health hazards over there, because workers are working in a long duration, maybe 8 hours per day. Every day they have to work with the 8 hours duration. So you need to find out what are the risk level, how the workers are working. Maybe they sick because of the same operations. They have to take medicines in a regular way. So you need to check what kind of hazards over there. Okay, deciding how to prevent harm to health. Okay, it is also depend upon the work, what kind of work you are doing. It will affect on your health. Maybe like say silica dust. If you are working in that zone, the dust which is totally covered in your company, silica dust. You can say other types of dust as well. If you inhale the same dust, you will feel like asthma related diseases. Okay, cancer diseases and all. So providing control measures to reduce harm to health. Then providing information, instructions and training for the same employees. Okay, and planning for emergency as well. Planning for emergency, yes, in an emergency, if suppose maybe any worker may be fatally injured or he may fall down, so you must have stretchers, you must have first aid box. There is the first aid medical room as well in your company. You have the medical support of like ambulance, and also tie up with the hospitals. So these are the things which is very important in your company. There should be a proper stretcher, okay, proper stretcher, proper ERT teams, emergency response team over there to carry out the casualty from one place to the another place. Then put the casualty in the ambulance, and then ambulance will reach to the hospital. So you have a tie-up with the hospital as well. So your medical emergency response plan, it should be in a quick way. Your action in an emergency, it should be quick and correct, or faster as well. As fast as possible, you need to leave the casualty and then move to the safer areas, you can say. Before you start your work cost assessment, you need to know, okay, at the time of assessment, you must know all control measures are in good working condition. Whatever the control measures, if you have NRV systems, non-retainable valves in the pipe areas where the chemical is flowing, you have butterfly valve, NRV valves, non-retainable valve, pressure switches, pressure gauge, what are the flow of the chemical. So you can check on the gauge as well, check the pressure gauge, check the pressure switch. Okay, NRV system is working, non-retainable valve, vent holes. Okay, these are the things. Exposures are below the workplace exposure limit where one exists, and exposures to substance that can cause cancer, asthma or genetic damage is reduced as level as possible. So it is very important, whatever the exposure in your company, how you can reduce these exposures, because workers are working without PPE. If the workers are working without PPE, without any proper what you can say the safety systems, maybe they will expose with the same hazard. So it is our responsibility, it is the responsibility of the HSE people. Okay, if you are working as an HSE officer, as an HSE team, it is your responsibility to protect the workers with the proper PPE if they are working in that hazardous zone, in chemical zone, in dust areas, okay, smoky areas. where the work process is totally hazardous. So it is our responsibility to protect the workers with proper PPE, with proper procedures, safety procedures, and you need to also apply the alarm system as low as reasonably practicable. Alarm system means how you can work as low as reasonably you can protect yourself. So that system you need to apply over there to protect the workers, to protect the workers' health, life, and also with the smooth operation of the same company. So these are the things which covers under related to the cost, control of substances hazardous to health. So these are the things. Understood, everyone?
Yes.